So quick-witted means somebody who is able to think and respond very, very fast with a lot of cleverness. Okay, right. So welcome to my session. And I think I just checked your profile and you're very new to this particular platform, right?
Yeah, yesterday or maybe one day ago, I joined this platform.
Oh, okay. Then you're extremely new to this platform, right? Okay. So can you please start with your brief introduction? Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure, ma'am. My name is Sufia Ali, and I'm from Jharkhand, but currently residing in Punjab. And currently, I am pursuing MBA from LTU University via distance education, and along with that, I am working in university. And I have a YouTube channel where I upload conversational and English videos, helping learners improve their spoken English.
Oh,
That's all
okay. So
about
you
me.
have a YouTube channel. Okay, right. Okay. Thank you for that introduction, Sufi. Well, as you know, that I am a tutor here at English Yari, and my name is Chodan. I am from Darjeeling, and I have been this English language enthusiast all my life, and I'm into public speaking for the past 3 years. Okay, now let's get into the crux of why are we here. Okay, Sophie, I want to know, what are the areas of improvement that you want to make in your speech, or where do you think you sort of like encounter problems when you are speaking or communicating with people in English? May I know what are the challenges you face whenever you speak with other people in English?
Well, right now I do not face as such problem, ma'am, where I struggle speaking English. Now I'm at the stage where I'm able to communicate with anybody confidently. And yes, when it comes to talking to tutor, we have a lot of things revolve in our mind. Where we make mistakes and we become a little conscious. But I would say, ma'am, I am making this video for English learners for my YouTube channel. So I would like to make it like for learning. Yeah.
Okay, right. Because like the moment that I'm being able to like talk to you, you sound pretty like very confident about your speech, right? So that's why I wanted to know like what is the purpose of joining for you to join a platform like this. So basically like you make a lot of YouTube videos, right? And that is why you're here. Okay. Right. So do you want to stick to the session notes or do you have any sort of questions for me that we
Well, ma'am, for sessions, I have prepared some questions for that, and I have asked some of my friends if you have some question. I'm going to have conversation with an English study tutor, and I have also come across your videos on YouTube, and I found it really helpful. Ask my friend to book your session, and that's how I'm here. So,
right.
Yeah, I prepared a couple of questions.
Yes,
And it's all about the English now. Yeah.
Sorry? English. Okay, right.
So first question. Yeah. So my first question is, well, a lot of people say, a lot of learners say, right words does not come in my mind at the right time. What can I do to improve my speaking? First they translate from Hindi to English, then they speak, and then they sound sometimes monotonous. So, what are the suggestions would you like to give for such learners?
Yeah, no, actually, a lot of problem they deal with articulation. Okay, now when we talk about articulation, it means like whatever we are thinking in the mind that does not get translated in our speech very well, right? Whenever we are speaking in English. Now, the reason for that is Sufi because see, we do not have that environment to speak in English. Let's be very honest, right? English is not a native language, right? And but however, we do need to find this environment where we can actually speak in English and try to learn to become an effective communicator, right? But what really happens is, like, I'm sure that whenever you are speaking to your family members, you do not converse to them or you do not talk to them in English, right? And it's a very similar case with a lot of people, even in the workspace. There are a lot of people who are in the MNCs, right, who are in the banking sectors. who are in all these aspects of their workplace, they still do not communicate in English, right? Because most of the time we are more comfortable with the vernacular language or our mother tongue or whatever it is, our Hindi language, right? So that's the reason why what happens is we are not being able to communicate well in English. That's because the reason is there is no such environment to practice. It's not even there in our workplace, not even there at our own place. Like when I'm communicating with my parents or with my family, I make sure I do it on my own vernacular language, right, which is Nepali. So what really happens is like there is no such environment to actually be able to speak in English, okay, and we to improve English basically. So that is why there is a lot of hesitation when it comes to interacting with other people. People feel that they're underconfident. People feel at times that they're making a lot of grammatical errors. People also feel like they're not being able to construct their sentences properly. But all these things, all the challenges that these people are facing is basically because due to lack of practice. It is very, very important that you might be able to read in English, okay? You might be able to comprehend very well in English. You may be able to write very well in English, but speaking in English is a completely different ball game altogether. And the only thing that is actually required from anybody's end is just two things, okay? The first thing is you have to be consistent with your practice. Practice, practice, practice. Right? So we have to be consistent with our practice. And the second thing is we need to be patient. Now there are a lot of people who think that I have practiced for about maybe say for instance like 3 months, and I should have been a little bit better than what I was 3 months before. But like I always tell my learners that the progress that you're going to see in your communication skills is going to be very, very minute. But what happens is people have a lot of expectations that within a month I will be able to speak very well in English. And that does not happen. To be able to speak very well in English with a lot of fluency, with a lot of articulation, it takes years and years for people to hone such skills. Okay, that is why it is important.
Absolutely.
Right. So that is why it's extremely important that we focus on communicating, we focus on our practice and our consistency, and also be equally patient with it. Because because if you are somebody who is looking for the kind of fluency you want, okay, and also you want to elevate your English through vocabulary, that's going to take a lot of time. It's like an art of any form. It takes a lots of time as well as patience.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
People
So it's been like
expect, people expect to be like, very fluent in a matter of few months. That's not going to happen. It takes years for people to be able to speak very well in English without any grammatical errors, okay? And also be able to use very good vocabulary so that they sound more articulate and eloquent as a speaker. So I think this is my to all your subscribers and learners, that it is extremely important to be patient, to have patience in your own journey. Do not compare yourself with others. Don't think that my friend also started. Me and my friend, we started like very on a similar note, and then she has improved so much, but I have not been able to improve myself. Okay, you cannot compare yourself when it comes to growth. Each people have their own capacity of being able to grasp things, right? So one has to be really, really patient with one own self also. Right. I also, when I was, yes, I have studied, in 13 years of my life in a convent school, in a missionary school, where we were actually punished if we spoke in our vernacular language, right? But having said that, having that environment in my own life for a very long time, I was not somebody who had that kind of fluency in my English as compared to my friends. Okay, my friends, there were people who used to read a lot of books, who were voracious readers, they were avid readers, and that is the reason why they had a very good level of vocabulary when we started in our school. And I always used to feel very underconfident about myself and my speech. But that is something that we have to work on. If you can see that what are you lacking in, Okay, and then you have to work on yourself, because there were times when my friends used to speak in some other language, and they used to use such complex words, such sophisticated words that I would not be able to understand what they were saying, right? And I used to think, oh, I'm so stupid, I'm so dumb. Okay, but this kind of thing, no, it happens with everybody. We have to realize what your mistakes are. Where is it that you're lacking? Work on it diligently. Work on it so that you get better. It's the same with all language. And one more thing, Sophie, I would like to tell is, just because people think that you are able to speak well in English, they have this kind of a thing where they feel that they are very intelligent. No, English is not superior to any other language. Let's get this fact very, very straight. It's just like any other language, like your Hindi, like your Marathi, like your Gujarati, like your Nepali, does not matter. It's just a language, but what happens is it's the most spoken language, right? After like Mandarin, right? So most of the people know how to speak in English. That's the reason why the importance of English gets even more higher. That's the only reason why we should be actually getting into like communicating in English and trying to get better at it. Not because you think that just because I know how to speak in English, I'll be considered to be somebody of a higher status or a higher intelligence. That is a very wrong stereotype people have. Right?
Absolutely. I have come across a lot of my colleagues and some learners as well. They think I am dumb. They consider themselves like, I don't know English, it means I'm dumb. I don't think so. And as you also mentioned, it's not like that at all.
Right.
Well, ma'am, I would like to ask you some questions for a complete beginner. Recently, very beginner, they are just starting their journey. So, from where they can start their journey? Like, they are not even able to frame sentences. So, from where they can start?
It's from the very beginning, okay? If there is somebody who does not know the basics of grammars also, then what they need to do is they need to start knowing what is grammar, okay? It is just like building a house. We don't immediately start piling one brick after the other and start building walls, right? The 4 walls of the house. We don't do that. We first focus on the laying the foundation. So what really happens is our foundation is our grammar. Okay, so until and unless we are not very clear with with our basics, like the tenses, like what is a preposition, what is a conjunction, what is a verb, adverb, okay, what is a noun, pronoun. If we are not really, if we do not have a clear understanding of all these things, then it becomes very difficult to form your sentences and to be able to speak. That is why, for somebody who's starting from the very basics, please start from the very basics of grammar. Get it all cleared. Okay, you can
like they can start from.
Yes, they can start from noun. Just start from noun.
Yeah. So ma'am, I was saying we can discuss the vocabulary which we have in session notes, so that they can learn all these words. That would be really helpful for learners.
Okay.
And
you want to get into the vocabulary?
Yeah.
You want to get into the vocabulary? Okay. I will tell you one thing, okay? With vocabulary, what really happens is, like, say for example, okay, if you're using a word like happy, okay, a 5-year-old will also be able to say that I am happy that my father got chocolates for me, while he returned from his office. Okay, and even a 90-year-old will be able to say that I'm very happy that today I got a good amount of sleep. Okay, but how are we going to distinguish ourselves from people who are 5 years old? Okay, we have to be able to level up our English, and the only way to level up our English will be through vocabulary. You cannot be speaking the same language that a 5-year-old will, right? That is the beauty of vocabulary. The more words that you have in your kit, the better you will be with your articulation. Okay, say for example a word like happy. Can you think of any other word, Sufi, that could actually replace this word? When people say that I'm elated, okay, elation means to be very happy and excited about something. Okay, so you can use the word like I am elated that I finally got a promotion I was dreaming about. Okay, so that Now, it could be replaced by a simple word like happy. I'm very happy that I got a promotion in my job. Okay. But how are we going to elevate our English? That elevation, that advancement of English that we're looking for will only happen through vocabulary. So now you can say that I'm elated that I finally got a promotion that I was wishing for. Okay. Now another word to replace a word like happy would be I'm ecstatic. Okay. Ecstatic means also to be very, very happy and excited. Okay. So I'm ecstatic.
I got it.
I'm
absolutely.
Yes. Yes. I'm ecstatic that I cleared an exam that I was really studying hard for. Time, which means again to show that you're very excited and happy. Okay, so a word like happy could be replaced by phrases like I am over the moon, I am on cloud nine, delighted, elated, exhilarated, ecstatic. Okay, so there's so many words that can replace that particular word like happy. Okay, that is why it is very, very important for everybody to advance their English. And when you think about advancement of English, that only happens through vocabulary. You know, a lot of people, Sophie, for example, will say, I am very sad that today I lost my phone. Okay. But can you think of any other synonym for a word like sad in this case, in this scenario? I'm very sad that I lost my phone.
We can use upset is little similar. Upset.
I'm upset.
And then what can be used here?
A better word, a slightly better word.
Right now, just blank.
See, you can say that I'm sad that I've lost my phone today, okay? But even a better vocabulary word would have been, I am distressed that I lost my phone today. Because when you use the word like distress, there is also a little bit of sadness, a little bit of anxiety, that goes hand in hand when you talk about distress. Okay, so the more vocabulary words that you have with yourself, the better you'll be able to express yourself. That is why it is extremely important to improve your vocabulary every now and then. Like I always say, vocabulary is always going to be very, very powerful. It is power. Right? And what happens, Sophie, that we might be knowing about 15,000 words, okay? But we make use of only 5,000. And the rest 10,000 words, they're stored somewhere at the back of our mind, and we're not really making use of those words. We have to find ways to use those words, bring those passive vocabulary that we have from our mind into our active speech, convert it from passive to active. That's very important with vocabulary, right?
Ma'am, I say one thing, like I want to. In session notes, like there was mentioned some words. So some words, and I wanted to discuss this, like quick-witted, are there, narrow-minded, brainy, and one more word is there. So
pretentious. Okay.
Not able to recall. Pretentious. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes,
so these were mentioned. Yeah.
Yes, okay. So quick-witted means to be able to think on your feet, to be able to think really, really fast and to be able to respond fast is quick-witted. Okay. Basically, when we talk about being witful, we mean by saying that we are very intelligent and we know how to think and respond very fast. So quick-witted means somebody who is able to think and respond very, very fast with a lot of cleverness is quick-witted. Okay. Now pretentious.
Super describe
pretentious. Okay. She's quick-witted. Always have a very clever answer with her. Okay, so that is the meaning of quick-witted.
Yeah,
and respond fast.
Yeah.
Okay. The other word is pretentious.
Got it, yeah.
Right. The other word is pretentious.
Yeah.
Now, say for example, I am somebody who is very, very cunning. Okay. I don't think really well for others. Now, this is a hypothetical situation, of course, right? I am somebody who is very cunning, who wants ill for other people. But I try to pretend as if I'm somebody who really, really wants good things for you. Okay, then I'm pretending to be someone I am not. I'm acting like somebody like I'm not. Basically, I am very evil-hearted, but I'm trying to show here that I'm very, very kind and generous and probably very benevolent. Okay, so what am I doing? I'm being pretentious. Okay.
Yeah,
So
some people do. Like the
Yeah. Yeah. Say for example, so if I had to give an example, I would have said that he is very pretentious, and thinks that he really understands things well when he doesn't. Okay, he tries to be very clever when he isn't. So that is what it means. So he's so pretentious. Okay, that is the meaning.
Got it.
Okay, now I think you've pretentious is clear. Now the third word is brainy. Now it's very simple. Now brain means intelligence. Brainy means somebody. Yeah, somebody is very intelligent. Okay. I knew that Yuffie would do very well in her exams because she's a brainy girl. Simple. Okay.
It's like little. Yeah. And the last one, I think everybody puts it. Yeah.
Narrow-minded. Okay.
And one is narrow-minded, right?
Yes. Now it's very similar. Narrow-minded means somebody who thinks who is not open to new ideas is basically narrow-minded.